2005 Honda Civic Hybrid. Noticed for a while that my windows, when I'm trying to lower them, will go down part of the way and then look like they are coming off track. It won't go down any further. I had the same issue with my passenger side window. You can kind of see that over here right now. Took the door apart and now it's going all the way down and all the way back. Couldn't find anything specifically wrong with it, but since that one worked, I'm going to give the driver's side a try. Tools that I use during this, they're all right there. You gotta go in here, there's a little tab right up in here. Pluck that out, a couple of screws in there. They have to come out in order to remove the handle. Screws have been removed, so this thing is just kind of loose in here. You see the mechanisms for the door handle and the lock. I'll go ahead and remove that cable bundle from the lock. Alright, that will allow us to shove this back through that hole and be able to take the rest of the panel off. Just hand the rest right here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to pry this off. Okay, I started out up here with a thin flathead screwdriver and just kind of worked my way around to be able to pry the rest of that off. There we go. A couple of screws right there, and then there's screws back in there and in there. So those two got to come out. I'll take these ones out too. So those two silver screws have been removed. I haven't pulled the other ones out yet, but I did remove the cable bundle from that receptacle right in there. All the screws from in here are out. Now all that should need to happen is popping off the door panel and the rest of the door, making sure I don't yank anything else out. Oh, there should be a couple of clips in here. There we go. There's one. There's a couple more. Oh, handy point. This thing here can be taken off as well. And then that way that prevents you from scratching it up when you try to reinstall the panel. Now all I should have to do is lift this up and it should slide out from the top. I found it was easier on the other one if the window was down, but since I didn't have that thing off the last time, it may be easier with the window up to slide it in there, so we'll see. And you have one door panel removed from the door. So we'll check out what's behind the plastic barrier there. So we'll see how this goes. Move this over to a spot where it can just sit for now. Although it would be helpful if I took that off and then had the control panel over here. So if I want to do some testing before I put the door all the way back on, I have the controls there because the window won't go down without the controls. Here are 3 screws that need to be removed so that you can remove that armrest from it. And then these things also will clip in there. And there's another little bugger right there. You need to remove all 4 of those screws in order to take the hand rest off. Okay, underneath this, it's on some restickable black stuff on there. You can kind of see the tracks in there. I kind of ran my fingers along the tracks. There's that one, there's this one, there's a green light, there's the other track. Going down there, just to see if there's anything else that caused any of the binding or anything that I'm feeling. So let's plug this back in and see if we can't get some progress. This has been plugged back in. Turn the power on for the car. There we go. And down. And I don't know what the heck we did, but it goes down all the way now. Even on the automatic setting. So I'm relatively happy with that. Now to put the door back together, pretty much the same way I took it apart. So we got the door controls all unhooked again, so then we need to slide that up through there. These little prongs here will fit underneath there, rotate it back up, and use the 4 screws to screw this back in. Got the 3 prongs in here, got all the screw things lined up. Put the screws back in. Screws are back installed, all 4 of them, little bugger. So we'll take the door and we'll come back over here and we'll see if we can install this. Okay, so a couple things to be on the lookout for when we're installing this. 1, the door lock. 2, the door handle release and the lock. And 3, this thing. And since we got this out of the way, it's up there, that shouldn't be a problem this time. So let's get everything lined up and ready to go. I've got this cable bundle through here. I got this through here. I almost forgot about that cable bundle for the lock right there. Try to get this lined up with the, kind of just reach around in there and try to slide it. Nice view of my thumb. Slide it in there for right now. Okay. There's a little lip there. Got to slide this part here underneath over that lip so it's right up against the window. That has been pushed down there. You got the door lock here. Everything's all over there. Now it's just a matter of snapping the clips back in. But before I'm going to do that, let's see if this actually works again. All the way down. All the way back up. Okay, I mean, not the fastest thing in the world, but at least it's doing what it should be doing now. So, 1 press auto. Good. Okay, almost done. Alright, so for reinstalling this, I found it easier to slide this part in first and then slide it up like that, and then you can replace the 2 screws from in there. Alright, so the 2 screws have been reinstalled for that, so the door handle is functional, locks are functional. Install that back in there, make sure that the single tab is up on top and 2 tabs are on the bottom. Click that in place, that's good. The last thing we have to do is reinstall that armrest. Okay, one thing we got to do before the armrest, if you remember, before we took 2 screws off of here, took a screw out of there, and we took a screw off from in there. Let's replace those first before we put the cover back on that. All screws have now been installed. I have no screws left over. 2 pieces left to put on. 1 this thing, and 2 this thing. This thing goes up here. So we'll take that, install that on there like that. There's a clip right there. You just need a little bit of a pressure and boom, got it. Okay, and then this just snaps back on in there. No other screws required. Okay, armrest reassembled. Door looks like it's not going to fall off its hinges. Driver's side window, not good now. It was good before. Sounds like it's binding on something on the inside. Okay, I guess we're taking this apart. It looked like this was an epic fail. Everything looked good up until the point where I had reassembled the door and then tried to lower the window and it caught again. I think I know what the culprit is. So let's insert key. power on, all the way down successfully this time. With the door almost completely reassembled, 2 pieces left, 2 pieces I had before. The culprit in all this is a piece of foam that resides right about here on the inside of the door to buffer the window when it's in a down position. Well, it looks like some of the adhesive for the foam is actually coming undone. Something causing an obstruction in there to prevent it going all the way down. So I'll have to remember that for the next time this happens. And then I need to get some additional adhesive to put onto the foam. So if you remember earlier in the video, we saw that clear plastic sheet between the door panel and the actual door itself. There was a indentation there. That's where that piece of foam actually goes. So if that foam starts to push this way, it could cause the window to knife edge into it.